right, and we are back with another episode. And joining me today, Nicole Sumerlyn. How's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We got our coffee, we got all that stuff ready to go for the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So for starters, some people who may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from.
Hello, everyone that's watching. My name is Nicole. I am a country singer currently living in Vancouver. I've been kicking around the industry for about 10-ish years, doing some shows and recording and, networking and everything like that. But I released my first couple singles this year, which is a very exciting time. I just released my second one in July called FLOATIN. And I don't know. It's been like quite the musical journey for me so far. And so I'm just happy to be able to start sharing music with people.
Perfect. And let's take it back. Tell me how music kind of came into your life. Is it something you grew up on, or is it something you just fell in love with one day and continued, or?
I feel like my experience was interesting because I was always somehow on a stage in entertainment one way or another. I went to a fine art school growing up. And so I was just always doing musical theater or in band. I was a competitive dancer for about 14 years, played multiple instruments and whatnot. So it was always kind of there. And being a dancer, I was thinking about doing cruise ships and, all that kind of stuff. But around the age of 13, I just started writing songs naturally, I guess. I wouldn't say they were like good songs like any other 12, 13-year-old would be. I would just stay up and write things about, what I was feeling as a middle school kid and play with my friends and my family. And they didn't say that I sucked. So I wrote a song one year for Christmas, and I played it at the recital that for my school, and which was like different for me because, like I said, I was always a dancer, and so for me to go up there and sing was weird for a lot of people, and I just really loved it, and I got addicted to singing live, and getting that kind of rush is a little bit different than I was used to, and took up lessons and started going down that way. And within a year, I started working with some really cool industry people within the country music world, signed, artist development deal at 14, and just kind of quickly started getting a little bit more serious. And it wasn't so much a hobby at that point. But yeah, I think with country music specifically, I love country music. It's what I know. My family, we all listened to classic country growing up. So it just it was never like, oh, I think I like country music. It was just like, this is just what you sing. Sure. So this is what you're going to do. And it just kind of happened, all naturally. And I've been doing it like my entire life, like 13, 14 is a pretty solid amount of time. And I just don't really know anything different. And I don't think I'll ever do anything different. So, perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. For someone who's never heard your music before, how would you describe your sound to them?
If they're country music listeners, they'll be happy, I hope. I like to say that my music is sassy, gritty, bluesy, that still keeps the country twang alive. I feel like my first couple singles that I put out are pretty lighthearted and fun. I like to keep the party going. So those are my first couple songs. And then if you see a live show, also it's just a lot of fun, energetic, sassy. But I've been through a lot too. And my softer things are, classic country heart wrenching. So, I want people to be able to relate to what I have to say.
Okay, awesome. And influences. Who are some of your biggest influences in the industry?
Originally and still now, Gretchen Wilson is huge. And Miranda Lambert. I feel like both female artists, they are able to rock on stage and be crazy, be gritty. But then when it comes to that softer stuff, like I said, they're able to hold that classic country sound and keep that going and be like really authentic and real. And that's really important to me as an artist, is to keep that going. So those two ladies for sure.
Okay. Do you have one specific influencer that's like more just for songwriting and then one for just performing?
Little bits here and there for sure. I think as like a songwriter too, like I remember a couple of years ago, I started to look at songs that, you know, were my favorites and look at the artists. And a lady named Audra May, she wrote Little Red Wagon and a couple other really good songs within the country world and pop world too. And she's just powerhouse. So I've started kind of looking at her. Same with Brandy Clark, great songwriters that I try to take inspiration from at least. And then on stage, you know, I feel like you have to look back at like classic rock, really. I think, you know, the good old boys, the AC/DC and Zeppelin and, you know, Queen, like they knew what they were doing. Like there's a reason why us in a modern world take so much influence from that era. Because they were just monsters and they just didn't give a shit. They just went crazy. And I think that's awesome. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's chat music now. Your newest single, Floatin'. Yeah. Tell us about this single and how it all came together.
So wrote and produced this one with Mitch Merritt, who's an awesome dude, someone that I've been kind of connected with in the music industry for a few years. We've had our fair shares of bourbon and we just decided we should probably make some music and not just drink every time we're together. And so we started writing and then we had a session back in February, and I always had this idea about like a floating song for a few years now. And we had like a drum loop going or something, and I kind of came to the right with a little bit of the chorus, I guess, and we, you know, just kind of meshed it around and made it what it was. We took a lot of inspiration from Cadillac 3 for this one, and obviously Little Big Town's got their Pontoon song too, so we kind of took to that for inspiration. But I just feel like there's a lot of country summer songs, you know, about like cold beer and like all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like I feel like one of the best things to do in the summer is like get tubes, float down a river all day long. Like, that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, sure, like, you know what? Yeah, see, you get it. Like, I think there's so many like big things that you could do, and like the barbecues and everything that's cool. But it's like you go to the dollar store, you get $1.50 tube, and you get a 6-pack of beer, and you're down the river all day, and you're a happy camper. Like, it's good. Yep. And I feel like there wasn't a song that was like just strictly on that. And like maybe that's simple, but that's what it is, and it's fun, and I really wanted to just capture that kind of day. So
that's so funny. It's I used to go to Penticton every year and float cattle.
Yeah.
Best thing.
Exactly. And that's a lot of where the song came from, is the Penticton River float. Because that's just the best thing to do. You just don't have to worry about a thing and go all day long.
Absolutely. Awesome. And so obviously this song's available on all platforms. Yep. Okay, perfect.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
All right. Where do you get most of your inspiration from when we're writing?
It really depends on what's going on in my life. But I think at the end of the day, something that I've really stayed true to as a songwriter and an artist has just been, I've never wanted to release a song specifically that I wasn't feeling. I find it really important to be authentic to experiences that I've been through. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that I've directly been through, but like something that a close friend or a family member or something that's just like in my circle has been around. I feel like it's really easy to look at an artist who's singing about something that they don't know. And so usually, at least recently in writes, I'll go to them and basically vent about my terrible love life, and they just have to be my therapist for like a couple of hours, and then we end up writing a song about it. So I think recently it's just been a lot of personal experiences and everything like that. But there's also times where like my guys, my band will send me a drum loop or, over quarantine, I was just like stuck in my room for ever. And I was like, I need some sort of inspiration. So my guitar player, Tucker, sent me like a little guitar thing. And, I tried to write to that. And so it is different every time. But for the most part, it's really just me venting.
All right. What's your favorite thing about co-writing?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's just really nice to be able to bounce ideas off of somebody. Because I can come into, and it's as often, I'll come into a write and I'm like, hey, I've got this idea or this part of a song, and I have no idea where it takes me. So it's really nice for them to like come and save the day, or just in general, like being able to feed off each other, because we all have different brains. We all think of things differently. Everybody has a different perspective on life. And I also particularly love it working with guy songwriters a lot of the time, because like I said, I'm venting about my love life and I'm a chick, obviously. And so coming to them with that and having their perspective and them trying to like understand the female brain is hilarious, but they're also really, really good at it in a sense of songwriting. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, just being able to like bounce different brains off each other and seeing where that comes about. And it's sometimes like it's kind of boring writing by yourself. It's fine. It's good for certain times, but it's just a lot more fun, really.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's chat about your music video for Floatin'.
Sure.
I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. It's got that summer vibe. You're floating down it, but tell us about this whole creative vision behind it.
With Floatin', because it's such a lighthearted song, I really wanted to keep it fun. And so Megan Gips did this video. She did my last one as well. She's awesome. And we had no plan for the video. We specifically had no plan for the video. We're like, let's just get you on a camera and just let you do your day. And so I got all my best friends and we just went to town, basically. We went out to Mission, which is close to my hometown, and went to one of the rivers there. And yeah, she basically just caught us on camera. This video also was shot in May. And as a Canadian, May and water and mountain fed water is not warm.
Yep.
I was completely numb that entire video. Like, also, like, my friends were like, they were troopers. They were really good for it. A couple drinks and like you're going. But at the same time, like, it's cold. And I was the only one that was like willing to like, I knew what I needed in the video. I was like, I know that I need this. And so I was diving and getting my hair wet and doing the whole thing. And I'm the one that's supposed to be on camera. So that was fun. But yeah, we had my friend's dog came in and yeah, it was just, honestly, I think the whole idea behind it, we just wanted to capture like a home style, like fun floating day. And I think we managed to make that happen.
That's good. Yeah. I love hearing those kind of stories, like because you wouldn't tell that it's cold. Obviously it looks like you guys are just having a great time, yet we don't see the
no. Nope, it was deadly. Absolutely.
I'm going to jump back to the songwriting thing for a second, because this question slipped my mind. What is the weirdest, most awkward way you've ever come up with a song? Is there a moment?
Awkward way?
Yeah. Is there a moment you've had where you're just like, this was weird, but I'm going to write about this?
I mean, like I said, a lot of what I come to the table with is my personal experience. And I think that a lot of writers that I work with, especially at this point now, know me pretty well. But when I first started writing with them and started this approach, we got comfortable really quickly. Yeah. And I am the most open book you'll ever be in your life. I could tell you my entire life story and all the details in it right here, right now. But some people don't like take that the same way as maybe I'm putting that off. And so they'll be like, okay, well, we're talking about that now. That's good. Okay. And so I don't know. I think just like some experiences that I'll tell them, and then it just gets heavy really quick, and they just gotta learn to be like, okay, this is just the kind of check that we're working with here. So I don't know. I like to keep it interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, perfect. Can Okay, what's been the best advice you've been given in your career up to this point?
So it's been a lot of recent within the last year or so, especially with COVID. I feel like, like I said, I've been kind of touring and doing music for about 10 years or so, 11 years. And I was so scared about releasing music because I wanted it to be perfect. And I wanted, to have all the right people behind me and the right sound and everything like that. But with that being said, my producer that produced my last single, Over a Drink, we'd have lots of heart to hearts. And he told me once, he's like, if you're going to put out zero, you're going to get zero back, and that has always kind of hit me because, I'm always going to try to be a perfectionist with what I do, but at the end of the day, it's just not going to be. And I have to learn and I have to just put things out there, and it's either going to be received well or it's going to be received not so great. And that shouldn't matter because I just want to get things out there and get this ball rolling again. So yeah, put in zero, get zero back is been something that I just keep reminding myself, and not to overthink what I'm doing and just do it.
Okay, perfect. Did you struggle with as an artist during COVID, or is it just kind of like one of those things you took the time, you did a lot of songwriting, or
It was a really weird time. I think we all struggled in a way for sure. I feel like there are obviously times that I would second guess what I was doing, and I didn't play for a long time. I wouldn't pick up my guitar, and I was just not inspired to do anything. But at the same time, every time that I would pick up my guitar to do something or play for my friends when we were, doing whatever, like I'm reminded that I love this more than anything. And I also just feel like that time that I have never had to just be able to relax and be a normal 20-something-year-old. I've never been able to just be like, wake up, do my thing, and like have dinner and go to bed. Like I've never been able just to like have a normal life. And so like sound like Hannah Montana, but like, you know what I mean? Like it was nice to be able to just be, going through the motions of life instead of worrying about shows and, all the craziness that happens in the industry. But now that it's starting to open up a lot more, I'm like, oh yeah, right. This is why I do what I do. I love it more than anything. This is what makes me happy. And I'm just excited for it to come back.
yeah.
But, yeah.
Have you been playing lots? Do you have shows lined up coming up?
I've got some shows lined up because we're with BC. We're going on hopefully into that last phase where we get to open up clubs and bars and festivals and things like that. So I started doing some acoustic things. Actually did a jazz gig a couple weeks ago, which was fun. But yeah, just like slowly starting to get back out there, and had a meeting with my band last week. And so we're starting to make the set list for the fall. And yeah, it's super exciting, but also nerve wracking because I feel like I'll get on stage. I'll be like, oh yeah, this is how I do it. But it's also like, how do I entertain people? Again, because you guys aren't my friends and family anymore.
That's
a little
fun.
different, but I'm super excited.
Absolutely. That's funny you say that. I was at the Calgary Stampede not long
Yeah.
ago, and it was like I was with an artist doing video for them, and it was like they had 3 nights in a row they got to play. And it was like the first night, it was like they're like, wow, it's like we had to relearn how to do this again, kind of thing. And then the
Yeah.
second night was better, and then the third night was like unreal. So
Yeah,
it was
totally.
just funny to see how like because that was their first show
Absolutely.
back, right?
Yeah. And I heard, yeah, the Stampede. I wish I could have gone to that because it sounded like it was awesome.
You wouldn't
And
think
I'm sure just for listeners too, what were you saying?
you wouldn't think COVID was a thing at this place. It was unreal.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Just awesome. And I feel like that's the best part. And when I think about, booking shows for fall and moving on to, there's a lot of shows that, maybe I wouldn't have picked up or anything like that at this point. But I just feel like at the end of the day, anything I do now, I'm just excited and thankful for. And I think a lot of musicians will say the same, that, well, I'll take anything. And just to play for an audience or two people that I don't know even. Like, I don't care. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll hopefully be, and I think as a country music fan, or just like a music fan in general, like, and my roommates, for example, there's a couple concerts that are coming out, and they're like just booking everything because everybody just wants to feel that again. Like, that's the best. And I think before COVID, especially in Vancouver, I found that people didn't care as much for live music. But I feel like coming out of this, I think people are going to be a lot more appreciative of what we have to do, you know?
Well, I don't think they realized what it meant to them until it was taken away, I guess.
Exactly.
Now it's kind of like, we want something to do, so bring back music.
Totally. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. What is next for you?
Yeah. I am, of course, in the studio, working on a softer song this time. I actually wrote it a couple of years ago, but the song is special to me because every time that I've played it live or played it for people that I know, it's always resonated with them quite a bit. It is, you know, a heart-wrenching song too, but just the style of it, it's just something that I'm really, really excited to show a different side of me. I feel like a lot of what I've put out so far has been, you know, like I said, really lighthearted and fun. This is going to show a softer side to me, and I'm really excited to show this one. So we're in the studio doing that right now, and I'm excited for it.
Awesome. All right. Last thing, for those who don't know, tell us where they can find you on social media.
Well, if you look up Nicole Sumerlyn, my face will pop up. So Nicole Sumerlyn Instagram, Facebook, NicoleSumerlyn.com, YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud.
Everything.
Like I said, you Google my name, my face pops up. You'll know. Nicole Sumerlyn with one M.
That's it. All right. Perfect. All right, guys, go grab her newest single, Floatin', and check out her music video. It's a fun one. And Nicole, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And let's stay in touch. Chat soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Take care.